Can you hear me okay, Stephanie?
Yes.
Awesome.
Did we figure out what's
Okay. Well, this is probably everybody, I think.
let's get on the road.
Okay. Can we hear you, Stephanie?
Pardon me?
Oh, I just wanted to make sure we could hear you, and we can, so that's good.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
Excited to be here.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm just like the food group meeting ran up until 20 minutes ago, so that's why I'm shuffling paperwork like crazy.
Did you get dinner?
No, but that's to follow.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we'll start. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we'll start by acknowledging we're on the unceded traditional territories of the Sashat and Hupachesit people. And we appreciate the ability to conduct our business on their unceded territories and their hospitality. Introductions. We should probably do a little bit of introduction just because we have a couple new faces. So we'll make sure everybody's aware of who's who. I'll go first. I'm Chris. Chris Alberni. I'm the president of Transition Towns. Oh, sorry, up to the microphone. I work at VIU. I just got back a little bit ago, managed to get some dinner in me. So it's all good, ready for a whole night. Dan, you want to go?
I'm Dan Schubart. I'm the secretary of AVTTS and also up to my eyeballs in ACA. And glad to be here.
And I'm Bob Paulson. I'm the treasurer of Transition Town.
Jim Wright.
Linnell Henderson.
Yes. Mike Hughes, attending on behalf of Women's Food and Water Initiative.
And Stephanie.
Hi there. I'm Stephanie Stevens. I'm here with the Food Security Group.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for coming, and we'll get started. So the first thing I have on the list here is current topics, unfinished business. I should say, does anybody have anything to add to the agenda that isn't already there? Anybody?
I got a message from Teresa, which Mike might have something to say about she's withdrawing from CD Saturday. So
Okay.
Michael probably has something to say, so I think it should be on the agenda.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I decided to attend at the last minute just to provide background.
Okay. Okay. I'll put a note in for CD Saturday, and we can talk about it. Let me do that. Boop, 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 boop. We could just put that in right here. Awesome. Anybody else have anything they would like to add? No? Okay. Great. So we'll move along to current topics. We had from Gail. I think she sent around the old growth United We Stand letter. That was from Gail, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. So she sent that around to the list, asking if Transition Town could sign on to it. I certainly don't have any opposition to it. So I guess we just need to know if the group is okay with signing on to that. Discussion, or I don't think we have to do a motion or anything, but
Well, let's make a motion.
we'll make a motion.
I move that we sign.
Okay. Do we have a seconder? Jim seconds. Okay. Any discussion about signing?
I think it's
or the letter?
entirely consistent with what we do.
Okay. Anybody else? No. Okay. Jim?
I was just gonna say, I can't imagine anybody knows what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. I was just assuming that that everybody had seen it on the website. So I'll bring it up here. Let's do that. Bum, bum, bum. It is so this guy. So this is the website, just so you know. It's just an online letter petition. So it says, United We Stand for Old Growth Forests, a declaration, march and super rally at the BC legislature, Saturday, November 26th. So basically, it says September 11th, 2022 marked the second anniversary of the British Columbia government's release of the report of its old growth strategic review. The report recommended immediate action to stop logging of the most at-risk old growth forests in BC. In light of the overwhelming support for old growth forest protection, the Oregon government made clear 2020 election promises to implement all 14 recommendations. And their critique in the letter says the tuck and log status quo continues. The government earned a record $1.8 billion on stumpage fees, but has not provided sufficient funding to First Nations to support immediate deferrals. Despite 1 year remaining on the OSGR framework, the government hasn't established an implementation plan. And then it talks about the climate crisis and the Fairy Creek. So that's kind of the very short version of it. It is a substantial letter, but I think you probably get the idea. So there you go. Lots of signatures on there at this point, including 350 Canada, Wanda Fuca Forest Watchers, just kind of picking them out as I go. Cowichan Valley Naturalists, Clakequot Action. So there's a bunch in there. So we would be adding our name to that list. So that's the letter. Stephanie, anything from you? Make sure I ask.
No, thanks. I briefly read it prior to, and
Okay.
I didn't see any reason to not be involved.
Okay. Well, hearing no opposition or anything to it, we'll go ahead and we'll sign that. So that's great. So that brings us to CD Saturday. Mike, would you like to talk about CD Saturday?
Okay. Still here? I think so. Okay, thanks. Well, after hosting a successful event this spring and kicking it around for a bit, Teresa and I have decided that we need to cast the net wider, I guess you could say, for more volunteers, and that will make or break us because we can't go it alone. And we brought in a lot of friends from outside of town earlier this year to stage that event. So in order to do that, she wants to convey the message that we do have seed funding, if you will, available from the funds raised last year in order for a group of volunteers to stage the spring 2023 event. So this is an attempt to kind of kick the ball down the road and see if we can build some momentum to this. But we're not prepared to do it on our own because we simply can't rely on people from outside of town to continue. So I think that was the essence of the message to Jim, and that we want to get the word out. We do have 2 or 3 volunteers in the offing, but we'd sooner be part of a team and do our own seed exchanges and sales rather than carrying the ball for this without sufficient volunteer backing. So we've still got time to organize the event for next year. We won't be in time probably for the CIP funding from the city because that's, I believe, in November. The deadline falls, but someone may decide to pursue that funding. It's conceivable they could still do it. However, given the seed funding, it's not essential for next year's event. So am I clear on that, Jim? Yeah, that's essentially what Teresa was trying to convey. Thanks. Awesome.
Stephanie, have you heard from Byron and Kaylee?
They just presented their seed savings circle kind of preliminary concept at the meeting this evening, and are going to be members of our food security group. So I do see like a natural pairing here. I would have to present it to the group as well to see if there's a way that we can contribute to CD Saturday as well. So I do see some alignment there.
So in discussions with Byron and Kaylee about how they saw things developing, if they're interested in building seed saving and distribution infrastructure here in the valley, and it would seem to be a natural fit for something that the food group might sort of host and sponsor, and that I know I would be willing to be part of that. And we had some thoughts about really if we're going to be successful at getting seeds into the community in time for certain kinds of starts, that it has to be earlier than it has been. And so, that might be a thought to keep in mind. And I don't know if you want to convene a meeting about it, but I know that there's interest out there, and especially if Michael and Teresa are still interested in being involved without necessarily carrying the load, if then we have a core of a group there.
Yes, I think I'd like to present it to our group. I think it's good, and to know that knowledge can be passed down from the organizing through the years is great. We had discussed that it would be great to have it sometime in January, so that people are able to purchase seeds earlier. I guess I'll send out an email after this meeting to kind of touch base, especially with Kaylee and Byron, and maybe redirect them. If I can get a contact email from you guys too, I can connect everyone.
Actually, if you send something through the transitions list, those of us who are susceptible to volunteering are likely to get in touch with you right away. So that way you don't have to carry a bunch of new emails until you can get them out of responses.
Fabulous. So I'll contact Byron and the group by email, Byron and Kaylee and the group by email, and then we'll work on individual participation, and then I'll bring it up to our group at our next meeting, as well as kind of an organizational component. See if we can support that way too. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good to me.
Perfect.
Bravo.
Thanks, Michael.
Awesome. Anybody else? Jim? No? Okay. Great. Well, we'll put the word out for volunteers and make it happen.
Okay.
Be great.
Yeah, I think there's a natural pairing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So on that sort of event kind of note, do we have any other upcoming events? If that's going to happen in January, February, is there anything before then that we should be aware of? I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's happening in November aside from tonight. But
If I'm not mistaken, the ACA's ongoing climate change talk in
So-
January is supposed to be about seeds and food and gardening. And
Well, there you go.
so this would dovetail nicely with that.
Cool. Stephanie, you have your hand up. Awesome. Oh, you're muted.
The topic for the climate action, if I can just find the exact wording, is food, eating cheaper and growing more, and that's January 18th, with our partnership with the climate action. So definitely seems to work well together, and we'll keep that in mind. And I have a couple of other small events that may or may not be of interest to members of the group. Nourish Fair is on November 17th from 3 to 6 p.m. And that's put on, I think, by Children and Families, and it's going to be for food and health and wellness event aimed at children and families. And I'm just thinking, I think it might be at the athletic hall, but I'll have to double check on that. And we will be doing like a lentil soup type thing, sending it for people to take at home, and as well as providing some there. And then another event, just passing on information that the Alberni Farmers Institute AGM is on November 9th. I'm not sure if that is of interest to anyone, at 7 p.m. at Beaver Creek Hall. They've requested that we send out this date, as everyone is welcome, and they are actively looking for new members.
Great. November 9th. That's a good day. Okay. Anybody else have any events that they know of that might be of interest?
Just the next lecture presentation from ACA with on heating on 1 month from tonight.
Today? Okay. Speaker series, November. Heating. Okay. Char's got one.
Could I remind everyone again to put all their events on alberni.ca?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't do Facebook, and it's kind of my personal thing now is to try and get all the events on a website that we can all access. So alberni.ca. And if you don't want to do it yourself, just send it to me and I'll add it there for you. Okay?
Perfect.
Okay. Just the picture and the information. Yeah, right on. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Perfect.
So was that a sigh of relief?
Dan's always punning. A sigh of relief. As in Alberni.ca.
It's run by Jack Sigh. Sorry. Hi, Robin.
Awesome. Okay. So we'll move along. Anything from education and networking folks?
I think most of our educational direction has been tonight's presentation and the follow-up. So we'll
Perfect.
probably continue in that vein.
Okay. And we do have next month the speaker series. So that's definitely a part of that. So next group report is food group.
Perfect. So I'll send a report, like a little summary as well after the meeting. But in terms of what we've been up to, we have the Dry Creek Community Garden that we're now managing, and we just did our first work party this past Sunday, and I think it was pretty well attended, around 30 volunteers. That was centered around kind of weeding the perimeter and the beds, preparing for mulch, and general repair. And there's a next work party is going to be November 6th. And I assume that it would be the same time. We'd have to check 11 to 3. And everyone's welcome to join and get ready for another great gardening season by putting the garden to bed. And if you have any questions, Jeanette Cormier, who originally facilitated the garden being created, is our garden manager, and she's at garden@avfood.ca. And she's also looking for donations. So donations of lumber in particular for the raised beds is the biggest thing, and then just any other sorts of tools or repair type donations. Of course, monetary donations are also gratefully accepted. And that's all on that front. And then as far as a gleaning update, the season, I think we're wrapping it up this week. So it's a bit delayed, a few later crops. And then we'll be in the process of collecting feedback from the charitable organizations, homeowners, and the pickers. And then hopefully Carly, our gleaning coordinator, will be creating a report to kind of summarize what this year has been like. So maybe we'll have that to share next month. I think that's everything from us.
Awesome. Anything on society status, that stuff?
So this past meeting, we were just kind of going through the bylaws. There was a few questions and details that need to be worked out. And so we should be submitting the paperwork for the society, I guess, I would say in the next 2 weeks, submitting it. And so then I'm not sure, it said about a 2 to 4 week turnaround from then. I think that's the update.
Awesome. Great.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. So next is Cycle Alberni. John wasn't able to provide a report, but obviously we just ended Go by Bike Week, 2 weeks of Go by Bike Week. So I think that was fairly successful. I don't know, Jim, if you have anything from. I know you were out and about on your bike lots, but
There was 65 people registered from Port Alberni, so which is double last year. So probably that had to do with John's buttonholing everyone at the fall fair and getting to participate. Then there was a successful kind of bike festival in Blair Park. I don't know how many people were involved. Maybe it was in the papers, but maybe 50 people, something like that. And then pancake breakfast at Jumping Slug. So things kind of getting back to normal.
awesome. Well, that's really good. 65 people, that's a lot of people. That 69. There you go. Yeah, no, that's great. Just thinking about all the other communities and stuff that I've seen stats for through the provincial society. For a town our size, that's good, and that's obviously that's a big increase. So that's like double what we've had before. So that's really great. Hopefully, I have heard sort of anecdotally from other communities and whatnot that there has been a good increase sort of from pandemic levels this fall. So hopefully we can see that come out in the stats and stuff, and lots of people are out on their bikes. And obviously the weather was good, so that no doubt helped. Great. Anything from Ocean Friendly? Want to say anything about Ocean Friendly?
Grade 5-6 out of the estuary, and that released in his practical. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Hi, Yeah, we had a great event. It was a cleanup by Stephanie, and Hope High School came out grade 5, 6 to the estuary, and Rob Dickinson had allowed us permission to get into there despite the work that's going on out there. And I didn't get to go because I had COVID, but Anna Lewis went and did a little bear aware thing as well as a safety lesson. And the kids actually used their native language to describe some of the marine creatures, which was just brings tears to my eyes anyway. And so they're quite interested in having another event with another class from the school, and collected a fair bit of debris and had good discussion around that. So that's all. Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Um,
Every couple of weeks, we're doing a table at the farmers market as well.
Oh yeah. So Jim just mentioned that every couple weeks, Ocean Friendly is down at the farmers market at the Harbor Key with a table down there. So if anybody wants to check that out or see what's going on, they can do that every couple weeks. What are they? Is this weekend a week?
I think so.
You know, is this weekend a week that you're down at the Harbor Key? Okay. Next week. Okay. Just so people have okay, perfect. So that'll be next Saturday and every 2 weeks. Awesome. So next up on our little list is an update from the Dry Creek Estuary Group. So we had this week is the deadline. Friday is the deadline for expressions of interest to the city. So I sent out a letter to the list earlier this week so that people could take a look at it, and just making sure that that the society is aware of it and all that good stuff. So so it's all out there. I'll bring it up here just so that I can actually say what it says here. There we go. It is linked on our agenda online, so you'll be able to see it there too. Oh, perfect. So it's just a letter to the city expressing our interest in working with them and First Nations to restore Dry Creek Estuary and use the SOMAS lands that they purchased recently to restore that estuary. So they needed an expression of interest to do that. So we're moving ahead with that. We've had lots of really good engagement on the website of late. I think thanks to Alberni Climate Action's and ours questions to council candidates that brought lots of people onto the website, and that seemed to drive some looks to restore Dry Creek and a lot of our other pages. I saw lots of clicks to the food group and Cycle Alberni and stuff too, so that was really good. So yeah, we've been making sure, Jim especially has been making sure that the little brochure holder down on Tyee Landing, where they've opened up a path along the SOMAS lands. There's a little folder there that we put up on the fence so that people can take our brochures and see what we'd like to do. The city has left it there very kindly. I know they know it's there, so so they haven't taken it away. So that was very nice. But yeah, it's good. It's been there. And it's open pretty much all the time, although the gate was closed for a time on the weekend, but it seems to be open most of the time. So we do have some brochures here if you'd like to see them. I put up an ad, a YouTube video. I can't really show it on the screen here, although I wonder if I stuck the link in the chat, would you be able to play it on your screen? I can't share. It would look way better if you could do it on there, because otherwise it'll be all crusty. Could you do it on there, do you think? Or should I just share it? You want me to share it? Whatever's easy. Whatever's easiest. Sorry, I just sort of. Okay. Okay. I will do that because that's easy. I will do it. Okay. Well, let me do that. So I will join the Zoom here. Yeah, that's true. I guess. Just as long as I'm not.
You are. And you have to disable audio real fast.
Yeah, so it's not.
It's not just mute. It's
recording.
Is it if you go to the arrow on it's in the settings one. I can't see.
Make sure this is off.
It's Matt.
Okay. It should be it. Yeah, it should be okay. It's muted, so that should be okay. Okay. Okay, let me bring it up here. Hope so. Hope so. We'll make it work. Okay. 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 Oh, I can't, you have to give me permission. There we go. Okay. We're going to do this. There we go. Okay, this might be a little crunchy because it's going through Zoom, but hopefully it'll work. All right, we'll play it. Oh. Oh, it's not gonna work. No. I don't think the
I get what you're saying. You're not on Wi-Fi. If you point your microphone to it, like this to there.
but I just don't know if it's gonna really come through on there, but we'll try. Subjectively, this can become the foundation for beneficial commercial, residential, recreational development in the heart of our community. Cleaning the contaminated lands, restoring salmon habitat, discovering the original shorebird, returning the creek to its original path, and encouraging development around it all, making it the single of the strongest fruit of the future. These are all things that Alberni has dealt with before. You can't restore the landscape. It may seem daunting, but it's worth it. It will create a new beginning for our city. The development around it, from Redford to Tying Landing. Join us and restore Dry Creek. Together, it can happen. Together, we can restore it. Join us. There you go. Is that okay? Yeah. I will do that. Just going to make sure that I'm not getting feedback. There we go. Yeah, no, I'll put the link in the chat right now so I don't forget. That it was thanks to my brother-in-law who has a really great drone, and he did all of that work. So yeah, if I can find the button, there it is. There we go. Yeah, it will be it'll be much less crunchy than over Zoom, but that was not bad for Zoom, so that's good. Okay. So I have lots of drone footage. So I'm gonna make a few just shorter ones that we can maybe put out on Facebook and stuff. Wait, obviously we can put that one out there too. But yeah, I have lots to work with. So yeah, it was fun to make. Yeah, hopefully it gets people excited about it. So that's all I have from that. Now I'm going to see if I can find my agenda again. I think we're almost towards the end. There we go. So next on our list is financials. Thank you, Rob, for putting that on the list. It's all on the agenda package, so you can see it there. Is it safe to say we're in a healthy position, Mr. Treasurer?
Money, but not a lot.
We have money, but not a lot. That's good. Better than not having money or not a lot.
I'd like more.
More is always good. Okay, good. Great. So all the accounts are up on the agenda. Affiliated groups, Alberni Climate Action, of course, but I'll leave that because we're going to have an event here shortly. So that's all great. The only other big thing on the agenda is a reminder that next month is our AGM, annual general meeting. So we'll need to go through the motions for that and make sure we have nominations for directors and board and all that good stuff. I had a reminder from our treasurer to make sure that folks who would like to be nominated, of course, it's open to anyone. You're welcome if you would like to be on the board or be a part of the Transition Town Board. All are welcome, but we do ask that you pay your membership dues, which is a whole $20 to our treasurer, and you can do that before or just before when we convene next meeting. So please do that. Other than that, I'll have an agenda out for the AGM at some point. Oh, Robert, yeah.
One little footnote.
it turns out that one of our speakers for next month's meeting misinterpreted the dates. So we will decline your kind offer of the 2 hours subsequent to 7 o'clock. But if you wished, we would certainly be prepared to make a short presentation on the OCP process to date and the and what we're sort of going after at this stage. So think about that, but it does mean your AGM can go as long as you like.
Okay. Well, I don't imagine the AGM will be super long, as as you know, not that long. But okay. So not heating, but OCP.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Okay. 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 That sounds great. Any comments about the AGM or anything else before we wrap up?
I just wanted to say thank you to Rob for your work dealing with all the money. Thanks.
Great.